Do you ever feel like you've come full circle? Like one minute you're a high school kid bringing your new boyfriend or girlfriend home to meet your mom or dad, and now you're 65 or 70 years old bringing your new gentleman friend or lady friend home to meet your adult kids. And today I want to touch on a subject that's pretty common. Online dating among seniors. What happens when you hit it off with someone, but your kids object to you having a relationship? Is it really up to them? And are your kids just making things messy for you? Okay, I want to start by telling you a little story of a friend of mine who successfully online dated and met a guy that she really hit it off with. Her name was Diane. His name is Jack. Both of them had been retired for a couple years. Diane owned her own home and had her adult daughter living with her. Her daughter was in her mid-40s. Jack also owned his own home and recently lost his longtime partner of 25 years. She passed away. Her name was Barbara. Anyhow, Jack decided he was going to try online dating to see if he could find someone to help him get over Barbara. He met Diane. The two of them really hit it off. They had so much in common. They were both from New York. They were both raised in Italian families, and she knew how to cook what he liked, and they were both brought up the same way. So that made the bond simple. The only thing is, even though they had this whirlwind relationship, and even though things were going really great, Jack made a point of letting Diane know that no one could ever take Barbara's place. He told her more than once no one could ever fill Barbara's shoes. And although she was being understanding and nice about it, I really think what he was doing was letting her know up front, don't plan on any kind of commitment because you're not going to get one from me. I'm still committed to Barbara. This is not that unusual, my friends. He didn't take enough time to grieve the loss before he tried to get involved with somebody new. In the meantime, you've got Diane, who is struggling. Okay, she's living from check to check. She lives on Social Security and a small pension, and she's got an adult daughter living in her house who is unemployed and has no prospects and is not even bothering to try to find employment. So she's struggling. She got to the point where things got so bad for her financially that a few years ago, when the interest rates were low, she refinanced her house and took cash out so she'd have a little bit of a financial cushion for herself, a little safety net. And that was probably very smart to do on her part. But in the meantime, she struggles. She's on the struggle bus financially. And in her mind, she's thinking, if I could just merge with somebody, we could probably, live together and share the load. Well, as it turns out, they went out every weekend. They went lounge hopping. They went dancing. They went out to restaurants a couple times a week and had dinner. And if they weren't doing that, he was at her house. She was cooking him dinner. He was spending the night and going home the next morning. It evolved into a routine. He'd come over her house at 3 p.m. She'd cook his dinner. He'd watch TV with her. He'd spend the night. He'd leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, go back to his own house, return back to her house at 3 p.m, and so on and so forth. Sometimes he'd even bring his dirty laundry for her to do. So what's it looking like already? He's got the benefit of having a wife with no commitment. And she is being a wife with no commitment. Okay, I'm not saying everybody should get married. You don't need to get married, but at least establish whether your relationship is exclusive and serious. And I don't think that was ever established. It was just, a routine they fell into. Pretty soon, Diane is getting to the point where she wants more. She's not satisfied with this one foot out the door business, him going to his house every day. She suggests the idea to him of them buying a house together and moving into a 55 plus community. Well, he's pretty non-committal about that. Pretty much the same way as he is about their relationship. Bear in mind, he's still committed to Barbara. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Jack has an adult daughter too. His daughter lives in New York, but talks to him 2 or 3 times a day, and he lets her know everything that's going on. Every little nuance of this new relationship with Diane. And his daughter is putting her 2 cents in everywhere that she can. Jack does not commit to anything with Diane. Even though he would probably like to live in a 55 plus community, he's got a house. She's got a house. He's satisfied with things the way they are. If it was up to him, they would just be dating, and they could go on this way forever. He had himself a great situation. She didn't feel that way. Jack threw the idea at his daughter. Hey, Diane is suggesting that I sell the house and we buy into a 55 plus community. The daughter went cray-cray. She's like, are you kidding me? There's no way you're selling the house. She's just a gold digger looking for you to support her. She didn't know what was going on. She was in another state. Okay, she was making assumptions, and assumptions that were not legit. Okay, actually, from a third party looking in, you would say that Diane was putting more into the relationship than Jack was. One day, Diane says to Jack, hey, we're not doing anything special today. Why don't we go take a ride and look at these model houses in this 55 plus community? And he's like, okay, yeah, let's go take a look. No problem, let's go. Well, they get to the model houses and she is like over the moon. She loves this place. And he's like, wow, look at this house. Look at this community. Wow, this is really nice. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a 55 plus community like this? Boom. She's got it in her head that he's coming around to her way of thinking. Okay, so they go back to her house. They spend the night. They have a nice evening together. The next morning, she hits him with it. Well, what do you think? What do you think about buying the house together and moving into the 55 plus community? And he's like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know about this. He's like, I'm not ready to sell my house. I don't, First of all, this is what he told her. I have signed my house over to my daughter. Okay, when Barbara passed away, my daughter put a bunch of papers in front of me to sign, and I was so distraught I signed them all. And one of them was signing the house over to her. So I'm not in any position to sell my house, and I'm sure that she is not going to go along with this idea. So when I heard the story, my friend Diane was keeping me abreast of what was going on. When I heard the story, I called BS right away. First of all, I said, look, do a property search, go online, go to the county recorder's website and see whose name is on that house. And I assure you, it's his name on the house, not hers. Whether she did that or not, I don't know. He was just feeding her this line of BS because he didn't want any kind of commitments to her. Okay, at this point, she had her fill. She told him, get your stuff, get out of my house, and don't come back. Hit the road, Jack. So he put his tail between his legs, picked up his stuff, and left. And that was the end of it for about a month. In about a month, when things cooled off a little bit, they did have a conversation. And here's what happened. She thought everything was fine on her end of the deal, okay? But he let her know that he was not comfortable with her adult daughter in a scenario where he would be living with them, the two of them. He said, I'm not going to support your adult daughter. I didn't buy into this to be eating dinner with her every night, watching TV with her every night. I didn't I felt like I was dating her and you, and I just wanted to be dating you. The other thing was this. She lived in a house that was a two-story house with a master suite on the first floor, and her daughter lived in one of the bedrooms on the second floor. He would spend the night every night. And picture this. They're on the first floor doing whatever it is they were doing, while her adult daughter was on the second floor. And to me, that's kind of icky, you know? And apparently it was kind of icky to him too. He didn't like it. And he let her know, I was uncomfortable with your daughter always being there. So her attitude was, hey, it's my house. I can do what I want in my house. If she doesn't like it, she can leave. Well, she never left, but Jack left. And they never got back together. And I guess there's a moral to the story. On the one hand, you got to be ready to enter into a relationship when you're 65 or 70 years old. Nobody wants to move into a house where you've got any of your adult kids living with you. That should be water under the bridge already. They should have their life, you should have your life. So I understand his hesitation. Even though this is a very common thing today, a lot of people have their adult kids living with them. Okay, on the other hand, I think Jack should have been more honest with Diane and just from the get-go said, I'm not going to commit. I'm not going to sell my house. I'm not looking for that kind of a relationship. He wanted something more casual. She wanted something more permanent. And to this I say, you're at a stage in life where you don't have the luxury of wasting years, months or years with somebody and not getting what you want in life. So keep this in mind if you're online dating. Be very clear from the get-go, no matter how well you hit it off with this person, you've got to consider their family and your family and what's going on under their roof and what's going on under your roof. Okay? So this was the story of Jack and Diane. Hopefully they both moved on and met somebody else. I haven't kept up. I don't really know. But I do wish them both well. And what's your story? Have you online dated? Have you run into a situation where your adult children got involved and things got messy? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, click on that subscribe button and join the community. My name is Suzanne Harper, and this channel is called Your Well-Seasoned Sister. Well-Seasoned Sister, that is me. And I talk about topics that affect boomers trying to navigate today's modern world. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one.